being reported that Natalie Portman is open to returning to Star Wars. What's going on, guys? Star Wars plug and some pretty big news today. So we've already seen stuff like this, right? We already saw Hayden Christensen return as Anakin. We already saw Ewan McGregor return as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And now Natalie Portman, in a interview with GQ magazine, says she is open to returning to Star Wars. And it's almost been 20 years since she last played Padme, Queen Amidala, in the prequels. And going back to that time, she talked a lot about having to deal with kind of the hate that she got with the prequel trilogy, along with Christian Hayden, along with Ewan McGregor, and the backlash they had to have during that time. And so when we saw Hayden Christensen return, it was phenomenal. It was amazing. We saw Ewan McGregor return. It was amazing. They finally, after all these years, have gotten the love that they've deserved. Because the people that were fans of the prequel trilogies were only kids when those movies came out. So it took all this time for those people to then grow up to show the love they have for these characters. And hearing Natalie Portman be open to the idea of returning to Star Wars is phenomenal. It sounds amazing. Obviously, it's not going to be as the character continuing, because at the end of Revenge of the Sith, she dies, Anakin turns to the dark side, becomes Darth Vader, all that. So it's interesting to see where she would be used in future installments. If that is in the Ahsoka show, it could be when they go to the World Between Worlds, and maybe there's some time travel and they go back in time, or they see something with her and Anakin, they see something of her on Mustafar, or maybe a flashback, we see some scenes of stuff we've never seen before, maybe during the prequel area. She is still pretty young, she still looks pretty young, so I mean they could pull that off easy, especially with the technology you have for the deepfake. Maybe make her look a little younger too, like they did with Anakin in those flashbacks in the Kenobi show where it was Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting. So we could see something like that in the Ahsoka show. We could see something like that maybe in a future coming up movie if we get flashbacks of Anakin and Padme. It would be interesting to see where they put her, how they use her, and how they also handle that, because we don't want to retcon stuff. You don't want Disney to come in and be too messy. I think if it's in the Ahsoka show, it'd be phenomenal, because Dave Filoni really knows the story, really knows the timelines, and hopefully they wouldn't mess it up. I mean, I think out of anyone in Lucasfilm, he knows these characters the best. He knows this story the best. He knows just what to do with that character. And it'd be interesting to see how they use her. I mean, there's nothing I could really think of that would say that they really have to bring her back to show us. I feel like the story's kind of completed in that sense, and it's so perfect. It's like hard. I almost don't even want them to touch it. I want them to kind of be very careful, Disney. That's all I'll say. Be very careful, because you can easily mess this up. So, Variety says, Natalie Portman told GQ magazine that she's open to returning to the Star Wars franchise 18 years after Star Wars Revenge of the Sith served as her exit from the long-running space saga. Portman starred in all three of George Lucas's prequel films as Padme Amidala, who wins the heart of Anakin Skywalker. I have no information on this, Portman said, when a fan floated the idea to her of coming back to the franchise. No one's ever asked me to return, but I'm open to it. So it doesn't seem like they've already reached out to her or something's going to happen. She's not already in a show or something, and this is just publicity they're trying to use to hype up something. It seems like no one's even asked her to come back yet, so it's not even in the pipeline. But the fact that she's open to it is amazing. And hopefully we'll get something. And if you go back to the reports, I believe in this interview she also mentions about Taika Waititi not knowing she was in a Star Wars movie, which is kind of crazy, kind of a big deal, and he asked her. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how they use her. It's interesting how they bring her back. If they brought her back, I'd love to get more scenes with her and Hayden Christensen and all of that. That would be phenomenal. That would be amazing, and she deserves to come back and get the love and recognition from the Star Wars fan base that Hayden Christensen has come back and got now, and Ewan McGregor has come back after all these years and got now, and it would be well deserved. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think she should return? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and make it happen, Disney. She says she's open to it. Make it happen.